what I'm saying about Charleston White, is that it's not that he's saying 100% anything wrong. In fact, he's saying a lot of right.
Yeah, he is.
What he's doing, though, is he's allowing himself to be in the mud, thinking that somehow these ignorant people are going to listen to him in that space. They're not.
They they celebrate ignorance.
They celebrate ignorance, and if they can get you to be ignorant too, they will be happy about that. Because what they'll do is turn around and do inventory on your personal life, and then they'll call you a hypocrite.
Oh, well, you're with strippers all the time. Oh, you drink.
Look how you talk.
You talking.
And you know what? They'll be right.
Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. So several of you guys wanted us to talk about the, what's his name, Charleston White, and we're gonna get into that. He has a very foul mouth, put it that way, right? And not only that, it's just the context of what he's talking about. It's gonna be very vulgar. So let's watch.
There's some truth to it. It's just the delivery. You standing, there's no denying that you're standing for and by your people.
Well, here's the thing. When you're addressing evil, you can't worry about the delivery. When you're looking at the conditions of our community, you can't worry about the evil when you got kids that kill kids and say we smoking on Tuka. See, they wasn't worried about the delivery when these kids in Chicago were talking about smoking on Tuka. They wasn't worried about the delivery. I ain't got no manners for no slut. I'm gonna put my thumb in her butt. The delivery? I like girls kissing girls where I'm from, and that's on the radio. Girls on girls, that's promoting lesbianism to my daughter as we driving to school. This song they playing with Drake. Y'all worried about the delivery? These talking about killing each other. They really, that thug said, nigga, I shot at your mama. You don't mention me no more. He really shot at your mama. And y'all worried about my delivery? The conditions of black sucking them, talking about booty hole. Y'all worried about my delivery? Come on, don't be hypocrites, black people. Y'all can't listen to this music if y'all so caught up in my delivery. Don't do me like that. And the way y'all snap and pop y'all to this music, the way y'all kill and drill to this music, don't trip about my delivery. Hey, yo, Easy, why you wear your pants like that? I wear my pants like that because that's easy access, baby. Easy, why you talk like that? I talk like that to get my point across. Because when I wasn't talking like that, wearing a bow tie, y'all wasn't paying me no attention, and I was going to the Supreme Court changing laws and legislations in this country. I was working with over 50 U.S. congressional members, from Ted Cruz to Mark Rubio, Senator John Cornyn. I was on the front page of the American Bar Association Journal. I had done a study with News 21, Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. Y'all wasn't paying attention then. So now I gave y'all what y'all want. Talk like them rappers. Now y'all listening. Now y'all paying attention, huh? I got y'all attention. Checkmate. Now let me tell y'all what y'all need to hear. We're up as a race of people since y'all so caught up into my delivery. 5% of children now are catching HIV from ages 13 to 21. What y'all worried about? 85% of the new chlamydia, all the new cases of teenagers. What y'all so caught up about? 35% of most kids in inner cities can read on or above their grade level. What the fuck are y'all talking about and these kids can't read? Come on. So if we gonna be real, let's be real. I'm not bashing the black woman in her BBLs. I'm not bashing the black woman because she wearing eyelashes. I'm not fucking with the sister because she got too many baby daddies. I'm addressing men. Just like we abandoned no justice, no peace for George Floyd. Are we still mad about George Floyd? Are we still mad about police shooting? Is that why we not kneeling no more? Are we still boycotting the NFL? What happened to all these things? What happened? I'm still stuck on Tamir Rice while y'all stuck on my delivery. I'm still mad why ain't now motherfucker tore up the country behind Tamir Rice. Baby Tamir Rice at that. Since we so in tune.
So yeah, not my favorite language. Tell you that right now. Okay, so what he's saying is accurate. Obviously, his stats were accurate. I do know a little bit about Charleston, just from you guys. I do know that he did go and work with Ted Cruz. He worked with a lot of political things. He tried to change some laws. I do understand all of that, and he is correct. Problem is that it's hypocritical in itself of what he's doing, because he himself kind of, I believe, still lives kind of a life of, you know, kind of I would say chaos. But he's doing a lot of this going to strip. I think he even says he goes to strip clubs and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, Charleston White is a mixed bag like Kanye West.
Yeah.
He's one of those people that's 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Yeah,
and to
agree.
me, those people always fail. Because you got to make, to me, look, in life, you got to make hard decisions. And a lot of people don't want to make hard decisions because they don't want to lose their audience. But then on the other hand, they don't want to lose their self. So Kanye West does this. 1 foot, 1 minute he says something that's really normal, and the next minute he's wearing Balenciaga clothes trying to prove they're not pedophiles.
Right.
Him and his ex-wife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so him too. He has some Instagram model on his show. I think it was Brittany, right? I don't know her name, but she was over here. She was acting a mess, throwing water bottles at people, and then she got on his lap and started lap dancing on him, and he just sat there and let her do it. And see, the thing is, it's just like you're talking about. These videos are trying to teach my daughter how to be a lesbian, but your daughters are watching their father.
Yeah.
So what are you teaching them about women?
Right.
That strippers are cool.
See, this is what
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is why I agree with him. I hate. This is what I mean. When people
Mixed
don't
lies
have
with him.
a hard line in the sand, it's like an Andrew Tate. It's like even Cameron Samuels in a way. They say this thing that makes sense and everybody applauds for them, but their personal lives are moralists. They sleep around. They they themselves lose character so they can live like the world.
Because essentially what he's saying is he's trying to get the hood to listen to him, right? And my thing is that, so I think what he's doing is counterproductive, because what he's saying is that if I go and talk like the people in the hood, if I go and behave like the people, if I have all this rhetoric and I'm foul mouth like you all heard just now, like the people in the hood, then these ignorant people, basically is what he's saying, are going to listen to me now, right? So the only way to do that is for me to be ignorant. That makes zero sense to me at all.
Yeah.
I would much rather someone talk like you have some sense and lead by that example, to show people in the hood that you don't have to talk like that. You don't have to behave like that. So that says to me there's some changes that maybe he doesn't want to make, but he's willing to. He wants to talk about, I think like Kara said, for like a hand clap. I think that he wants to genuinely, if he's going to the Supreme Court, if he's doing all of these things to try to help legislate things, then I'm going to say that there are parts of him that does want it to change. But where it all falls to the wayside is his own behavior. You can't be a hood talking Negro and then also legislate something. No one's going to listen to you and on legislation and the hood. No one's listening to you because of that reason. If they are listening to you, they're looking at you as a clown because they're seeing you behave, just chaotically.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that the hood likes. The hood, like people that are in this culture, we've been talking about the black culture, today's black culture, what's going on. Today's black culture likes just visually seeing people act like this. They think it's funny. It's a clown show, and what we're saying is, no, how about we just act respectful, speak respectful? I mean, like you can't.
But even those people eventually are going to come after him as a hypocrite when they realize what his personal life is. So it's like you're going to sit here and talk about the HIV stats, and you're going to talk about the literacy stats, and here you are acting like a clown when the cameras are off, and sometimes even when the cameras are on. So I'm saying, I don't deify people anymore. You know what I mean? There are people who say, I think we do too much of that, to be honest with you. Calling, Kevin Samuels Godfather and calling Top G. I think we did that with Obama. We made him so deified that we can't even say anything bad about Martin Luther King.
Right.
See, I think we deify these human beings for saying something that's relevant in the moment.
Yeah.
But we don't really look at the fact that
their own behavior
does contradict what they're saying. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying. I think it's like self-reflection will always, to me, be the change in the world. Because if we don't self-reflect, we can't say, he can't tell men, and, like he is right. Like he said what I was saying, but he's like, he's saying like men, he's like, this isn't about no woman. This is about us, men. We dropped the ball, right? But you still go to strip clubs. So how can you tell men to grow up when you haven't?
Yeah. How's that work? It doesn't work.
You see what I'm saying?
It's not supposed to work. Because because like you were saying before, and to me, I think there's a point in time in your life, especially as an adult, where you do have to draw a line. You got to pick a side here.
You're saying it's like what he's saying is it's like he needs to say he's wrong. Rules for thee, but not for me. How do you think the world got like this? It's because every individual makes a decision to do bad things. We're mostly going to be like, for me, I'll take myself. My life before I called myself conservative, which I probably always was, but I went along to get along. Why? Because I'm black, and I'm a woman, and all black women are liberal. Regardless if they go to church or not, they are all liberal. They all believe in feminism. They all believe in abortion. They all believe in all this. And all black men, almost, not all, but great majority of black men, even if they don't like feminism, they go along with it because they're for equal rights. Why are they for equal rights? Because they're for BLM. And you have to be in order to be for this like black activist thing, you have to be also for all this other stuff. And so most black men fall by the wayside because they believe in all this other stuff before. Charleston White is saying the right thing, but the truth is that his personal life, like he said, he's spiritual, but he doesn't read no book. And the reason why I don't read no book is the reason why most people don't want to read no book is because there's discipline in that book that's going to have you look at yourself. Well, he don't want to change himself. He wants to change the world.
Well, being obedient to something higher than you is a great taking. It's a lot to take on for someone who's not ready to change, right? So because if you're saying that if you believe that there is something higher than you, that means that you have to find out what the word of that higher power is. Once they find out, which I'm sure he knows, what that word is, that's too much. Because that means you're going to have to change your behavior, your drinking, and smoking, the speech.
People like this always confuse.
This is not a win. It's not a win because he didn't change.
Well, that's what I'm saying. People like this always are confusing because we're so hard up for masculinity that we'll accept any masculinity. That's why Andrew Tate and Kevin Samuels and Charleston White and all these men are so relevant. If this were 50 years ago, they wouldn't be because most men, no matter what side of the aisle you were on, 60 years ago, would have said, well, how we live today is absurd.
So let me tell you why people miss the message with people like that. Is because they're saying truth. See, this is the trick of it. Is that those people are saying truth. What we just heard Charleston say is truth. We hear Andrew Tate talk. A lot of that is truth. Kevin Samuels talks. A lot of that is truth. But they mix it with this new cultural kind of attitude with it. And that's what kind of messes up their truth now, because they're trying to make it seem like, I can be righteous, but I can be I can be ratchet.
You can't.
And this is we were watching Cutting Through the Culture. We always watch that, and they did a video talking about can you be righteous and ratchet? No, you cannot be righteous and ratchet. You're either one or the other. And what we just saw here was ratchet. So even if Charleston really wants to help the people, even if he is not into the culture and he wants to speak out against it, it doesn't matter. Because you're trying to say righteous things in a ratchet way, and that's not going to work. That's not going to work. This is what goes for the new way of getting the point across. Is talking like this, but not calling out the behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like he's saying the right thing, but I'm sorry, we still have to call out the behavior. Because if we're going to sit here and tell the girl stop twerking, and we're going to tell the guy stop selling drugs and stop doing this and whatever, then what makes this person different? What makes it different for him? It doesn't. We have to say,
right,
this is wrong. This is wrong to behave like this.
Even in the Bible, Jesus talked to prostitutes. He talked to everybody that was what you consider despicable at that time. You know what I mean? But they changed when they came to him. He didn't turn into them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He didn't turn into them to get to them. They changed. They changed. His bar was up here and they rose to his level. We don't go down to their level.
Right.
And this is why I'm saying that if you are trying to be of this world, trying to get through to these people, you are never going to get there.
Right.
People change because they want to change. You can put the information out there, and then it's up to them to accept it or not to accept it. But what I've realized that even in my own life, I had to come to a point in my own life
Yeah.
where my own life wasn't working for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These people are like this because they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And until you don't want to be anymore, you sinking down to a level to somebody to get through to him does not help them. And by the way, I don't think he had to sink that far.
No.
Because I think he's already
came
in
very
that
naturally.
level.
It
You know what I'm
came very
saying?
naturally.
And so that is what I'm saying. I like what Andrew Tate says. The only problem I have with Andrew Tate is that he lives a life of materialism and self-indulgence.
And he promotes that heavily.
He promotes the
Yeah.
top G. Everybody, I'm cool. I can't stand that.
Yes,
because
well.
what you're saying, what you're doing is you're trying to be of this world and still try to get through to people. And what you're going to do at the end of all of this is lead everybody to hell.
See, this materialism and this culture is what's destroying society right now. So when you're promoting it in these ways, like you're being counterproductive to what's going on. So even you're being counterproductive to your own point. Because you're trying to change things, right? Through what? Your actions? Well, I'm sorry, your actions are not matching up to what you're promoting, what you're saying. You're promoting one thing, but you're saying another. You're trying to be righteous and ratchet. You cannot do that. You can't, or you can, but no one's going to really get the message and no one's going to believe you. And they're going to know that you're just talking.
And
You're
these
just
people
talking.
who think that they can blur the lines, that they think they can convince you by saying, "Oh, I went to Congress and
Yeah.
I tried to change." Candace Owens did a interview with a sex worker, and she was all, "I've been to college and I'm helping men get through their stuff by them coming to have sex with me." And I'm like, "Look, you again." Honey, you aren't helping anybody.
Right.
You're a prostitute, okay?
Exactly.
Make no mistake that men do not come for you sex, they come for you to leave. They want to have sex and they want a woman that will pay to leave. Many people delude themselves into thinking that being in the trenches and lowering yourself is somehow good.
Yeah.
It's not. All it does is show a continuous bubble of degeneracy, and that you literally don't have, you really don't have the guts to completely live righteous.
But it's also just kind of like an obedience decision, and I feel like when you're not making a firm line in the sand, I'm no longer going to be this way. I'm not going to promote that. I'm not going to talk like that. I'm not going to behave like that because I'm trying to lead by example, and then on the other side, you're like, okay, I'm going to try to lead by example while talking like this. I'm going to try to lead by example by still doing the things that I'm telling you not to do. I'm telling you not to do it, but I'm still going to do it. But I'm a little bit more righteous because I'm going to the, I'm changing laws. No, it's still bad. It's still bad.
It doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't make a difference. It zeroes each other out. It doesn't matter. It's very tricky because I know people look at that and go, "Oh man, he's keeping it real." That's what they're gonna say. That's what they're gonna say. They're gonna be, "Oh, he's keeping it real." And statistically, what he's saying is factually correct, right? Some of his stats that he was spewing out there. But I think that a large part of the problem today is the culture. I believe that wholeheartedly. And I think that we need to change the way that we are. We need to change, our manners and our language, how we speak to each other, what we promote, what we're looking at. If you're gonna flip through a bunch of Instagram girls and OnlyFans, but outside of that, you're doing something different. You're trying to help the community. I'm like, see, no, but you're still privately. You're still doing the wrong thing. You see what I'm saying? Like you're still doing the wrong thing privately, and you're trying to have this public image. No. And same thing goes with Charleston. He's trying to do both. That's not going to work either. You can't do that. It's just that's not going to work. It never works.
I mean, just admit that you think the world can't change.
Yeah, that's all it is.
You know what I mean? Just admit that you feel like the Marxists have won. But you do have to be, like what you were going to say, you do have to be what it is you say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't be a tramp and then talk about being, and talk about, celibacy.
Right. That can't happen.
Don't, be what does someone say, I think Blanchard or somebody said the other day, there's a woman she's an actual porn star, hooker, porn star, and she's telling people that what she's doing is wrong and she shouldn't look, but she's still doing the porn.
Yeah, it's
just like you can't tell people to do something you're actively doing too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never tell a bunch of girls to stop having sex if I'm still doing it. Right. That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense in his vulgar conversation, his mouth. You know what I mean? That is part of the culture. To talk like that is part of the culture. And when you talk like that, what you're saying is, you guys beat me. You brought me down to your level. So I'm going to act like that.
So all you're doing is contributing to the culture.
They made you
That's all
come
you're
outside
doing,
of
yeah.
character. So you think you can make a point. But like I said, Jesus did not come down to our level. We rose to his.
Right. We're trying to get away from this, actually.
I'm just-
we want to
right.
see more, especially, we want to see more men, especially with black people, you guys, because you know black culture is a mess right now. And we want to see more black men speaking better.
But my point in saying this is that, especially that last part he was talking about, that BLM stuff, that, see, again, we has failed as black men, but yet he's going to sit there and talk about victimhood. We're getting shot in the, no, they're not getting shot in the street by police, okay? We've already, that's already been debunked.
Yeah, we
that's
know
not a
the
thing.
stats on that.
Okay, even BLM has now moved the bar.
Yeah.
Because they realize
The stats on that don't match up to what they're promoting.
So as I'm saying, you can't say, if you think that men need to be men, then you need to get off that victimhood stuff altogether.
Sit up straight, dress right, speak right, and then I think this is what gets people, that's what gets the listeners on. And also younger men need to see a man who has some type of decorum to him. And so when I see men who are trying to, you know, he wants to be liked by the culture. That's my feelings are he wants to be liked by the culture. He wants the culture to like him. He wants to make sure he don't lose his place in the culture.
I mean, Thomas Sowell did not change for the culture.
No, he didn't.
You either listen to what he has to say or you don't. That's how Clarence Thomas, same way.
Yeah.
You either listen to what they have to say or you don't. They don't change for you.
Yeah. Now I will
And
say
that's what I'm saying when I talk about real men.
Yeah.
Men do not become the degeneracy to get applause and to get people to listen.
Yeah. So if he is trying to actually spark change, it's not going to happen with him doing this. It's going to do the opposite.
I mean, he just went ahead and just admitted the fact that he said, y'all didn't listen to me when I was talking normal.
Yeah, so now,
he can talk normal. He's choosing to talk like this because he thinks he's making a point like
Exactly.
this. But I'm telling you, if you start looking like the world can't respect you because they've now brought you down to their level.
Right.
See, like that's why we're so impressed by Donald Trump. He's taking these slingshots with all these lawsuits. He's not changing.
Yeah. He's
because
staying.
they tell him that.
No.
He's not doing it. He's saying no. Elon Musk told the advertisers the other day to go F themselves. He's telling you, you're not going to buy me. I'm telling you that if you want to take all of your advertising away, I'm going to stand up for freedom of speech. And that's what I'm saying. I hate when Thomas Sowell's like, hey, this is the information. This is true information. It's documented. You can either take it or leave it. But we aren't changing so we can, Clarence Thomas, I'm not changing because you think black people need to act this way.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I'm not doing that. And, the reason why I look up to these men is because myself, I'm a black woman. That black women usually get on their nerves.
Yeah.
And I'm not changing
We get people
so that I can be in the culture with a bunch of baby mama thinking women that are erratic, wrong, and not thinking at all.
And
They're just living through the world.
And we get lots of women that say, or really black people in general, that say that, oh, you guys speak white. You should stop speaking white. I'm like, what does that mean? So does that mean that we're supposed to now do what Charleston did and all of a sudden start speaking hood? Can you imagine us?
I'm not going to do that.
Can you imagine us up here speaking like that? You guys, we'd be frauds.
Because I think black people, including black women, can talk with respect.
I do too.
I don't think that we need to be dominating and mouthy to get our point across. I don't think you have to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not going to be that so that you listen to me.
And it brings me to thinking about, what's his name? Remember when, oh my God, Candace Owens was promoting her documentary, that Black Lives Matter documentary, and Jason Whitlock making reference to how she's not going to be able to connect with the hood because she was wearing like pearls. She was dressed, Candace dresses nice. She dresses very nice. And so, and she wasn't dressed in a hood way, right? So he was saying she isn't talking hood either. So he was saying that people in the hood are not really going to listen to you, Candace, because, you don't look the way. So then Candace says, oh, okay, so now you want me to be fake? So now I have to come down to their level to understand intellectual speech? No.
When Jason said that, I love Jason Whitlock. I watch him
he
all
said
the
that,
time.
I was like, no,
I
Jason.
really do. I watch him all the time. I agree with what he said, but I was shocked at when he said that because I thought to myself, you yourself get put down for being a coon because you say the right thing and you say the truth, regardless of what black men think of you. And then here you are talking to another conservative woman
Yeah.
about how she's
not black
she's
enough.
not black enough, you know,
crazy.
because she's not acting down, you know what I mean? And Candace, you know, responded appropriately.
Yeah,
and
she
she
did.
said, "Listen, I love Jason Whitlock, but what you're telling me is I'm not black enough, basically.
Yeah.
And I bought those clothes. This is how I dress, and this is who I am. And if they don't listen, which is what I'm saying now, if you don't listen, I do not rise. I don't lower myself to get to you. You have to come to my level.
Right.
And if you don't come to my level, then that says a lot about you. You like being in the dirt.
Yeah. And that's a problem.
And so this is what I'm saying about Charleston White, is that it's not that he's saying 100% anything wrong. In fact, he's saying a lot of right.
Yeah, he is.
What he's doing, though, is he's allowing himself to be in the mud, thinking that somehow these ignorant people are going to listen to him in that space. They're not.
They they celebrate ignorance.
They celebrate ignorance, and if
celebrate
they can
it.
get you to be ignorant too, they will be happy about that. Because what they'll do is turn around and do inventory on your personal life, and then they'll call you a hypocrite.
Oh, well, you're with strippers all the time. Oh, you drink.
Look how
Oh,
you
do
talk.
You talking.
And you know what? They'll
They'll
be
be
right. Because when I was younger, my whole life, I've heard people tell me I wasn't black enough.
Oh, yeah.
I talk like a white girl, you know, I'm high yellow, I'm light skinned. So of course that didn't help. You know what I mean? Even black men that I dated, I was never black enough for them. You know what I mean? And so I took that as there was something wrong with me. I never thought that, I always thought being ghetto was black. And if you're not that as a woman, you can't date a black man.
Right.
Even if these black men that go to college, they still subscribe to that.
Yeah.
And so my thing was, it was always hard for me to date because I dated only black men, and black men only liked a certain type of black woman. And so, you know, instead of thinking I just am a different type of woman, I looked at myself as I wasn't enough for these men. When the truth is that maybe I should have stayed that way, because now when I look at our culture, I think I shouldn't. I was probably right.
Yeah.
You know, my mother raised me right. You know, she raised me to speak a certain way. I don't use the N-word. I don't use slang. I never have, even when I was young, even when I was in high school. I mean, I don't know what it means to speak white. But you know, what I'm saying is I learned a lot. I said that to say this, is I learned a long time ago is that you don't go down to the mud to appease people.
Yeah.
You have upbringing.
Use it.
And so use it.
You know,
And that sort of mentality that Charleston White kept me down for a long time, because it kept me trying to prove myself to people I didn't need to prove myself for. You know what I mean? I don't even want to be them. I never did.
Right.
It's just that I felt that how am I going to date? How am I going to have a life if I'm not typically black? You know what I mean? And so now, even now, admitting to being conservative.
Oh, it didn't help at all.
You know, it didn't help me. Of course, black men. A lot of black men don't like me because of what I say. You know, and that's okay. You know what I mean? I'm a grown-up woman. I'm not a child. I can take the hits. It's just that I've learned a long time ago that talking a certain way and trying to get through to people, or trying to because even when I was younger, I wasn't raised on welfare. My mother, I came from a single mother. I just wasn't raised on welfare, but I knew a lot of welfare people, and anytime I would talk to them about the system, they didn't like what I said, and they made it seem like, oh, you're thinking like a white girl. Even when I was liberal, I was conservative. I just didn't realize it at the time. But what I learned from that situation and growing up is that the more you try to follow these people of this world, the more lost you get. Now, look, I'm not going to say that people don't have, you know, abilities to be funny, but I mean, again,
it's not about that though. It's the problem is not about, like, you can't have a sense of humor. Okay, I mean, I like the movie Friday. You know what I mean? So I get it. But he's talking about some real stuff in real life. And what I'm saying is that we are having a humongous problem right now, and with the youth, really black youth especially. And I don't think that this is what we need. We don't need this type of speech right now. We need young people to see older people behave in a more, you know, and have more decorum to them, while being authoritative as a man. I get that, you know, but it's not going to happen. Young people do not need to hear and see this type of behavior.
I mean, Charleston White is 46 years old.
Yeah.
He's 46, you know what
So
I
is
mean?
my age,
So,
yeah.
I would just say that, you know, come on, you're to a point now where you can grow up a little bit in your speech and the way you talk and the way you carry yourself. Because even when those younger guys that are in their 20s,
Yeah.
they latch on to black men that act like
Yeah,
this
they do.
because they think that because they
It
want
gets to be okay.
because
Yeah.
you got to be real careful. You got to vet people. And even if like a Donald Trump, even if you vote for him, don't be trying to cape up for him all the time, because he's not always right. Married 3 times,
Right.
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
He's
he got
got,
some
you know what I'm
stuff
saying.
going on there,
So he
too.
cheated on his wife. So let's keep it real. He's not, you know what I mean.
Well, morally,
Right.
clearly,
Come
morally
on.
questionable, but we get that. But okay.
Right.
You know.
But will I
we're-
vote for him? Well,
Yeah, because I'm voting for him not as a husband.
I'm voting for.
I'm not voting for a husband. I'm
No,
voting for president.
Right, policies and things like that.
Right.
That matters to me.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just like, let's not start caping up for someone
Yeah.
like they're so virtuous. It's not a thing.
Yeah, stay
You
balanced.
know, and
Yeah.
so that's what I'm saying. Stay balanced.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, you guys. Let's see what you think about this. With Charleston, what do you guys agree? Disagree? How his behavior? What do you guys think? Is his delivery? You think it resonate? It will resonate to people from the hood? Maybe it will. I don't know. Let us know. Leave in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. And we will see you guys in the next video.